Welcome to Manifested Publishers.
Hello learners, I'm glad to welcome you to our today's social studies learning session. We will continue with the topic democracy and human rights. In our last lesson, we defined democracy. We then gave 5 benefits of democracy. This lesson is a continuation of last lesson. We will continue studying benefits of democracy. We had given 5 points. We will give the other points, other benefits of democracy. Benefits of democracy. The next point, number 6, learners, we can say that in a democracy, people have a right to make decisions on issues that affect them. In a democracy, people have a right or the right to make decisions on the issues that affect them. In a democracy, people have the right to make decisions on the issues that affect them. And this includes making decisions on what to be retained, changed, or removed from the Constitution. You cannot just change the Constitution without involving the people, because what is written in the Constitution affects people, affects people, affects people, affect. If there are things that affect people, before you change such things, then the people must be involved. The people have a right to make decisions. The people have a right to make the changes. That's a good thing about democracy. Okay? Then number 7 is that a democratic system enables people to develop a sense of belonging. In a democratic system, people develop a sense of belonging. In a democracy, people develop a sense of belonging. And I can also include responsibility. And what? And responsibility for being allowed to participate in various activities. And, let me say, and responsibility for being allowed to participate in various activities. When you involve people in various activities, especially those that affect them, then the people will have a sense of belonging. Why? Because the decisions that are made are not made by other people, but they are also involved in making the decisions. We say that people are allowed, in point number 6, to make decisions. So, for example, if the Constitution is changed, and the change is what the people demanded, then the people will have a sense of belonging and responsibility. They'll have a sense of belonging and responsibility. If whatever is changed in the Constitution is what people wanted to be changed, then the people will have a sense of belonging. They will have a sense of belonging because the decision to change the Constitution is made by them. As opposed to a system where there is, say, a dictator who decides what ought to be removed or changed in the Constitution. In a dictatorship, people do not have a sense of belonging. Neither do they have a sense of responsibility, because in a dictatorship, people are not allowed to participate in various activities. Point number 8 is that democracy promotes peace. I can say democracy, or I can say democratic practices. I can say democratic practices, democratic practices promotes peace. Democratic practices promotes peace and prosperity. Democratic practices promotes peace and prosperity. Why? Because the citizens feel secure and can go about their work of creating wealth for the nation freely. Remember, we said in our last lesson that in a democracy, people have the right to own property anywhere. So if that is the case, then that would mean that people will prosper because you are able to identify business opportunities in any part of the country and take advantage of such business opportunities. When that happens, then people create wealth without any hindrance. Democratic practices promotes peace and prosperity. Where individuals are allowed to make decisions the way we have said here, right, to make decisions on issues that affect them, then they will be peaceful, because at the end of the day, the government does what the people want. If the government does what the people want, then the people will be peaceful, because we always have wars where decisions are made without including people. When you make decisions without consulting people, then people will not be at peace, because the decisions that you make may not favor the people. But in a democracy where people are allowed to air their views, then that promotes peace. Learners, do you understand? That is benefit number 8. Now, another point is that number 9 is that where there is democracy, people are able to do what? To get an equitable share of the national resources. Where there is democracy, people are able to do what? To get equitable share of national resources, where sometimes we call the national cake. In a democracy, people get equitable share because every person is represented. For example, when revenue is shared, when national revenue is being shared, every individual is represented. Every region is represented. For example, you have every part of this country has a member of parliament who has been chosen by the people democratically. So there is equal representation. We also learned that we have individuals who have special needs. Such individuals are also represented. So where there is democracy, people are able to do what? To get equitable share of the national resources. Then lastly, number 10, the last benefit is that democracy promotes freedom. Democracy promotes freedom. Democracy promotes freedom. Now, learners, freedom is the ability to make choices or do things without being stopped by others. Freedom is a good word. Most people love freedom. Everyone likes freedom, meaning everyone would want to do whatever he wants or she wants to do without being stopped by others. Even students, sometimes you cry for freedom at home. But as a student, you may not have much freedom as long as you are still a minor. A minor is one who has not attained the age of 18 years and above. You can only get all freedom. You may have some limited freedom. For example, you may have the freedom to choose which color of dress you want to wear. Okay? You may choose which color of shoes you want to wear. Your parent may give you that freedom. But you may not have the freedom to go and buy property or go and stay away without permission from your guardian. So it's just a question of time. We encourage you to obey your parents, obey your guardians until you get the age of majority. That is when you'll have had enough education, you will have grown up to take care of yourself. But as long as you are of the age of minority, then your freedom is limited. But for some of us who are grown-ups, there are times you are not grown as we are. We are just as young as you are. But now, some of us who are grown-ups, we have freedom. I've defined freedom as the ability to do what? To make choices or do things without being prevented, without being stopped by others. For example, in my case, I can choose what I want to eat. I can choose today I want to take chicken. I can take any food I want. I can travel to any part of this world without asking permission. I can buy property in any part of the country. I can settle in any town. I can go home whatever time I want because democracy promotes freedom. Freedom is the ability to make choices or to do things without being stopped by others. No one can stop me from going to buy chicken. Chicken. Okay? Because I have freedom. And this freedom is guaranteed because I live in Kenya, which is a democratic country. We are discussing benefits of democracy in government. So these are additional 5 points. In our last lesson, we gave 5 benefits. Today you have given additional 5 benefits of democracy. Number 6, we have learned that in a democracy, people have the right to make choices on the issues that affect them. Number 7, in a democratic system, people develop a sense of belonging and responsibility for being allowed to participate in various activities. Number 8, we've said democratic practices promote peace and prosperity, and we say this is because citizens feel secure and can go about their work of creating wealth and building the nation freely. We also say number 8 that number 9, where there is democracy, people are able to get equitable share of national wealth or resources. Number 10, democracy promotes freedom. So that will mark the end of our today's lesson and the end of democracy. Remember, we are studying democracy and human rights. So learners, here is your today's revision question. Outline 10 benefits of democracy in government. When answering this question, as I've always said, close your exercise book and see if you can recall the 10 benefits of democracy in government from your memory. Thank you for choosing to study with us. In our next lesson, we will study abuse of human rights. Abuse of human rights. Thank you and bye-bye.